Hello everybody, this is Jason Napalm here. Today I'm going to do a video about Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson, as many of you know, is a well-known psychologist and has a lot of videos and a lot of views on YouTube. Very popular guy, very intellectual, very clever, and he is also well known for using lots and lots of different words that most of us need a dictionary to understand what he's saying. Okay, so because he's respected and because he's been talking about God a lot for the past year, he's been doing a lot of videos, he's been speaking to Joe Rogan on God and the Bible in particular, and it seems that he's subscribed to the idea of Christianity being true, okay, and that God is real. So the conclusion that I came to until his latest video, which I'll tell you the title of in a minute, I came to believe that he really is a spokesman for God. Okay, I did notice a few things here and there. I noticed that he isn't really into going to church, okay, which is a problem. Because he's not going to learn about God if he doesn't be around other Christians. I do understand from his videos that he's spoken to certain church leaders and he's got some friends that are Christians, so he does have discussion back and forth, but he's not come under the authority of any pastor or any church. Okay. There's also the matter that he says he can't call himself a Christian. Okay. Now, he's not. The reason he gives us is why he can't call himself a Christian is he says he doesn't believe that he can attain or obtain that degree of holiness and righteousness to call himself a Christian. And then he quotes from Nietzsche, who said the only Christian that ever lived was Christ. Okay, which is ridiculous because Christian means follower of Christ, and Christ don't follow himself, so Jesus was not a Christian. Okay. And I noticed that Jordan Peterson does quote a lot from Carl Jung, Nietzsche and some of the other psychologists. Carl Jung was into the New Age movement. He was into psychic phenomenon, the occult, and so forth. So, as a neuroscientist myself, I have diplomas in neuropsychology, neuroplasticity, psychotherapy and counselling, and very fascinating stuff. So although I'm not on the same level of education as Jordan Peterson, I do know and understand the basic stuff. Carl Jung is not someone I'll be quoting from as a Christian, okay, because his views were anti-Christian and were not compatible with the Bible in any way. So seeing Jordan Peterson quote Carl Jung and some of the other guys who were involved with the New Age movement is a bit of an alarm bell for me. As for the Christianity statement where he said he cannot call himself a Christian, he said that he doesn't believe that he can call himself a Christian because he hasn't obtained that level of holiness and righteousness and commitment to God. So he's missing the complete by grace are you saved through faith verse. Okay, he's thinking that until he behaves 100% as a Christian should, then he can't call himself a Christian. And we all know that we call ourselves Christians, but none of us have obtained that 100%. Very little of us have probably obtained 90% of what it means to be a Christian. Okay, and that's the whole thing about God's grace and God's love and mercy on our lives, because he knows that we're never going to be 100 on being a Christian. Okay, we're always going to miss the mark, and that's what sin is. Now, from the video title of Jordan Peterson's recent one is "I'll tell you why you must subordinate to God." I'll tell you why you must subordinate to God. Or in other words, I must tell you why you should be in subordination to God. You should submit to God. Okay? I thought this would be interesting. So I'm watching the video, he mentions Moses and about the children of Israel, the people of Israel, being rebellious and everything in the wilderness. Now, one of the things that come up as a red flag to me was he said Moses was looking for a way to get them to stop doing all these sinful acts and breaking the commandments. Well, not breaking the commandments because there were none, but behaving the way they did. So he went up onto the mountain, and then he says, in the face of God, Moses, came up with the 10 Commandments. Now, we know that's not true. Moses did not come up with the 10 Commandments. Okay? God gave the 10 Commandments to Moses. So that's error number 1. He says, and then he go in that same sentence, along that sentence or next one, he says that the story of Moses is mythological. He says the story of Moses is mythological. Another red flag. What does he even mean by that? Mythology, to my understanding, is that it never happened. It's just a story that teaches us morals and ideas, but it's no different from the story of Theseus and the Minotaur, for example, or the story of Icarus. So it's like he's treating the story of Moses on the same level as some of the Greek mythologies. The final nail in the coffin for me was when he said that God is a concept, God is an idea. This is all in the same video, you can see it for yourself. God is a concept or idea that has been personified. Now, what does that mean? That means that God is not actually a person. He's an idea that man has created, I guess. And what people have done was they've took that idea and made a person out of it. So they've took an idea, a teaching, a moral code, and then people said, we're going to call it Jesus. We're going to call this idea, this concept, God. Going to call Jesus, going to call it Allah, going to call it the source, going to call it the light. And this is very new age. Okay, this is very new age. And what we've got to realise is that I know myself as a student and practitioner of psychology is that you really have to be careful when you're studying psychology, because it really does try in some ways to lead you into new age movement practices such as transcendental meditation, okay, and into yoga and other practices that are not biblical and are not Christian, and sort of self-actualization in a way that makes you think that you're actually something more than you are, and then it will again lead possibly down some roads to believing that you are a divine being, okay, that you're a divine person rather than a human being serving a divine God. So Jordan Peterson said God is a concept, an idea that has been personified. Now that's not true. This is the thing. As I've been watching his videos, I've been enjoying his videos, what I understand of them, to be honest. And but the bits that I do understand have been pointed out quite obviously that they're not consistent with theology. They're not consistent with the Bible. So I'll just give you a heads up and say to you, is Jordan Peterson a Christian? No, he said he isn't one, by his own admission. Does he believe in God? Yes. But what does he mean by he believes in God? Not the way the Bible teaches. Jordan Peterson does not believe in the God of the Bible as he is taught. He believes the God of the Bible is an idea, a concept. Let's hope that as he looks into reading the Bible more and more, he'll fully realise and understand that God is a person. One other thing that popped to mind was one of his videos says that no man can come to the Father except through the truth. And quote it again. Jordan Peterson's video was titled "No Man Can Come to the Father Except Through the Truth." Notice that he's changed the word Christ to the truth, and that's wrong. Okay, Jesus said, "I'm the way, the truth, and the life." So a person can say, well, technically speaking, he's correct, because he just said that no man can come to the Father except for the truth. No, Jesus didn't say that. Jesus said, no man can come to the Father except by me, through Christ. And then through Christ, we come to the truth. So be careful, okay? Keep your eyes open when you're watching these videos if you're a Christian, okay? Be aware that there is some New Age influence in there, and continue praying for him, because he is very bold. He doesn't care what people think. He just needs to be brought back more onto the track of true theology and true biblical understanding, and not go into the New Age movement. Okay, well, God bless you. Let me know what you think of this video. What are your findings on Jordan Peterson? What do you think of him? And has he changed your mind about the things of God? See you in the next video.